Well, welcome everyone to the Owensboro Board of Commissioners regular meeting, May 21st, 2019. This time I'll ask the City Clerk, Beth Cecil, to please call the roll.
Commissioner Jeff Sanford.
Here.
Commissioner Larry Conder.
Here.
Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Larry Magliner.
Here.
Commissioner Pam Smithwright.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to have the invocation and pledge to the flag. Mayor Pro Tem Larry Magliner will lead us. Please stand.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here today, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life and exerting our efforts in those areas. May we be challenged to always give our best. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I got the honor to swear in a police officer. How you doing? Hey, you sir, did you see that? Isn't that nice? Okay, you'll stand right here. Okay, what are we supposed to do? Good. All right, now we got that. Okay, this is the official oath. You repeat after me, please. Breathe. Okay, good. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute, to the best of my ability, the office of police officer according to law, and I do solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state, nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person, thus offering so help me God. Congratulations. Welcome. Girlfriend, front and center. Okay, pictures. All right. The next item on the agenda is Older Americans Proclamation and Senior Community Center of Owensboro, Davis County update. This time, Dana, I'll read the proclamation. City of Owensboro does hereby proclaim, whereas Owensboro includes a growing number of older Americans who enrich our community through their diverse life and experiences, and whereas Owensboro is committed to strengthening our community by connecting with and supporting older adults, their families, caregivers, and acknowledges their many valuable contributions to society. And whereas Owensboro recognizes the importance of bringing together all generations and engaging in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being for the benefit of all. And whereas Owensboro can enhance the lives of older Americans in our community by promoting home and community-based services that support independent living, involving older adults in community events and other activities, and providing opportunities for older adults to work, volunteer, learn, lead, and mentor. Now, therefore, I, Thomas Hart Watson, Mayor of the City of Owensboro, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2019 as Older Americans Month in Owensboro, and urge every resident to take time during this month to recognize older adults and the people who serve them as essential and valuable members of our community. Signed and sealed this 21st day of May 2019. So, Dana.
Thanks, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm going to keep it short because obviously you don't want to listen to this for very long. But yes, May is Older Americans Month, and it's an exciting time for us, really, because it's an opportunity for us to shine the light on our seniors and what they do and what we're able to do for them and what the city does to contribute to everything that they're involved in. As Older Americans Month, we have a theme, and this year it's Connect, Create, and Contribute. And with our seniors at the center, we connect through all of the programs and services that we have. We provide over, just last quarter alone, 8,000 home-delivered meals and 6,000 lunches in 5 different locations. We provided about roughly 806 to 10 transportation rides to folks throughout the county. We'll go anywhere in the county and bring somebody. We'll take them to their vet if that's what if they need someplace, if they need to take their animal to the vet, we'll do that. I knew I wouldn't last long.
You want something to drink?
Oh, no, I think I'm okay. I'm just going to cut it off. We have a lot of adult education. No, I'm done. We have the adult education classes.
You sure you don't want some water?
Yep.
Where's a firefighter when we need one?
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Leave it with her, Larry. There you go.
They tell me it's a bad year for allergies.
Is that right?
That's what they tell me. Okay. We create through our education programs. Okay, I'm just going to tell you.
You want me to read it for you?
We're going to have to stop. We help about 1,490 folks each year. Each month, we offer a tremendous amount of services and programs. We do this because we love the seniors of this community. People age 60 and over who participate in a senior center, they live longer. They have healthier relationships. Oh my gosh, thank you.
You got one of them coughing leaving now.
So we're here. The irony of it is we're here to keep them healthy. So with that, I'm going to sign off and stop spreading any germs that I might have. And thank you all for this proclamation and for what you do.
Thank you. I can't tell you, I've been here a long time, and Dana's done as good a job, if not better, than any senior citizen director that we've ever had, and I'm really tickled to death that you're still there, and so just keep pushing, okay? No matter how you talk, all right? Thank you very much. Okay, item number 5 is to consider the approval of the minutes of May 7, 2019. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, please.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. I'd like for you to consider the following board appointments. Dugan Best Neighborhood Alliance, appoint Deborah Street to a 2-year term expiring May 21, 2021. And Owensboro Sister Cities and Regions Board, reappoint Catherine Zboril Zaburo to a 3-year term expiring June the 4th, 2023. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, second reading, 6A. Counselor, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 8-2019, an ordinance closing and abandoning a portion of an alley right-of-way between 1121 Mosley Street and 416 East 11th Street in the city of Owensboro, Kentucky, at the request of Hayden Development, LLC. Publicly read for approval on second reading this 21st day of May 2019.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
Commissioner Conder?
Yes.
Mayor Watson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith-Wright?
Aye.
Item number 7 on the agenda is an ordinance, and it's the first reading. There'll be no vote. The city manager may produce a little discussion, and the commission, as well as the public. Counselor.
Ordinance 9-2019, an ordinance adopting and approving the annual budget of the city of Owensboro, Kentucky for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019 and ending June 30th, 2020, and appropriating the revenues to the various departments of the city as set forth herein, introduced and publicly read on first reading this 21st day of May, 2019.
Thank you. City Manager Nate Pagan, please.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Thank you.
You're
This
welcome.
is first reading of the ordinance adopting the city's 1920 fiscal year budget. With just a few changes, the budget is presented as presented to the commission in April. The changes include a minor restructuring due to a recent parks resignation. In addition, we added insurance to the recently completed parking garage. We ultimately received more transit grant funds than expected, which requires a larger match. The ambulance subsidy was grossed up to reflect the pass-through revenue from the county share of the subsidy, which has no net impact on the city's financial position. And finally, the actual CDBG and home funds the city will receive are more than expected and shown in the work session. As we discussed last month, the budget does not contemplate any tax rate changes and creates a pension reserve account to prepare for the expected pension contribution increases. It's a good budget that the staff is happy to present. I'd like to acknowledge their hard work and thank them for all they do on our behalf.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion up here? Okay, item 7B, please.
Ordinance 10-2019, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2018 and ending June 30th, 2019, and amending Ordinance 9-2018 to fund the budget contingency and correct purchase order rollovers in the general fund, to provide for purchase of 11 sets of body armor from the Property Recovery Fund, to receive federal justice assistance grants, funds for purchase of breathalyzers, traffic data collector, and accident recon equipment in the JAG grant fund, and to provide for convention center operations. Publicly read on first reading this 21st day of May 2019.
City Manager?
Mayor Angela Hamrick will present the budget amendment.
Okay, Angela Hamrick.
Yes, Mayor and Commission. Steve pretty much covered it in his summary, but this is our third round of budget amendments for this fiscal year. And so I'll just briefly go over the details of them in a bit more detail. In the general fund, we're funding the budget contingency, and that's a process methodology that we do and have done every year for a long, long time, ever since I've been here anyway. We're also removing appropriated budget dollars that duplicated a PO that was automatically rolled over in our financial system. In the Property Recovery Fund, we're appropriating funds from the fund balance to purchase 11 sets of body armor. Now, the Property Recovery Fund is separate and different from the general fund, and the revenues and the fund balance here are derived from the sale of property involved in criminal activity. Our JAG fund, we got a budget amendment there to receive some grant funds and appropriate for the spend of that revenue stream. The items that we are looking to purchase is the 30 breathalyzer and mouthpieces, a traffic data collector, and accident recon equipment. Then in our Convention Center Operations Fund, we are appropriating additional funds for software purchase and the incentive. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Any questions from the Commission? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hamrick.
You're welcome, Mayor.
Item 7C, please.
Ordinance 11-2019, an ordinance annexing to the City of Owensboro certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property currently owned by Gateway Land, LLC, and located at 2945 Highway 54, containing 2.361 acres, more or less. Introduced and publicly read on first reading this 21st day of May 2019.
Okay, any comments? Hearing none. Okay, item 7D, please, Councilor.
Mayor, would you like me to read these, the upcoming all together, or take them one at a time?
I'd say all together.
Together, okay. Ordinance 12-2019, an ordinance declaring the City of Owensboro's intent to annex into the city certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis and adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 2280 Tamarack Road, containing 48.296 acres, more or less. Ordinance 13-2019, an ordinance declaring the City of Owensboro's intent to annex into the city certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 4610 Gates Drive, 4514 Gates Drive, and 1621 Southtown Drive, containing 52.238 acres, more or less. Ordinance 14-2019, an ordinance declaring the City of Owensboro's intent to annex into the city certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 1622 Southeastern Parkway, containing 6.370 acres, more or less. Ordinance 15-2019, an ordinance declaring the City of Owensboro's intent to annex into the city certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 4255 New Hartford Road, containing 31.683 acres, more or less. Ordinance 16-2019, an ordinance declaring the City of Owensboro's intent to annex into the city certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 6000 Fairview Drive, containing 22.799 acres, more or less. Ordinance 17-2019, an ordinance declaring the City of Owensboro's intent to annex into the city certain unincorporated territory in the County of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 2909 Highway 54, containing 14.877 acres, more or less. Ordinances 12-2019, 13-2019, 14-2019, 15-2019, 16-2019, and 17-2019, introduced and publicly read on first reading this 21st day of May, 2019.
Thank you, Councilor. Obviously, at first reading, there'll be no vote tonight. We'll ask for discussion. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I do have some prepared comments I would like to share. The city attorney just read several ordinances. Those are why I think the majority of the crowd is here tonight. They do propose to annex some county school facilities. The city has reached an agreement with the county regarding annexation of some schools around the edge of the city. After evaluating school locations and development in the areas in which the schools are located, we've reached a consensus for schools we believe should be annexed into the city and schools which we believe should stay in the county. Schools to be annexed include Apollo, Davis County High School, Davis County Middle School's new site, Burns Elementary, Burns Middle, Highland, and also the central office and bus garage. We are not proposing to annex all of the schools that we could legally annex. Schools not being annexed include Meadowlands, Audubon, Deer Park, and College View. This initiative reduces and in some cases eliminates pockets of unincorporated areas surrounded by the city, which has long been a priority of the city and the county. Such pockets lead to uneven and inefficient provision of services and skew infrastructure funding compared to utilization. This results in a fundamental inequity. Those who benefit from a service should pay for it, but that is not the case in such unincorporated areas. As an example, Apollo has the city on 4 sides. You have to drive on Gemini Drive or Tamarack Road to get to the school, and both are city streets on their respective sides of the school. Currently, a construction project is underway for a new football stadium there. It seems like a great project. I want our students to have great facilities. But the contractor is damaging the street, and we derive no revenue from the property to repair the damage it's causing. Another example is the ordinance we just read before this one, which involved the annexation of Aldi. The annexation of Aldi and Highland drastically reduced the size of another pocket of unincorporated area that most people in our community think are in the city now. If annexed, Highland could benefit from the proximity of Fire Station Number 2, which is a mile up Highway 54, and could reach the school with an engine and ladder truck within 3 minutes, and is 2.5 times closer than the station that currently services that school. Contrary to what's being said, these annexations are not about money. In fact, the city and the county have reached an innovative revenue-sharing partnership regarding the annexation to mitigate the financial impact of the county. The city's net revenue from the annexations will not go to the general fund for general purpose spending, but will instead fund the pension reserve account, ultimately benefiting all pension employees. Unfortunately, school safety is a current point of emphasis at the national and state level, and these schools, all of them, will now benefit from the additional staffing levels and the closer proximity of OPD and OFD facilities, resulting in reduced response times. Finally, both DCPS and the city are extremely vital to the future of our community, and it's in the best interest of our community that we have a productive relationship. I stand ready to work with DCPS on this issue and other issues in which we are both involved.
Thank you. Any other comments from the commission? Mr. Robbins, you have counsel here that would like to speak? Okay, and Mr. Land, take the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Commission, my name's Sean Land. I reside at 401 Maple Avenue in Owensboro.
Please stay as close to the mic as you can. We're Facebook Live here in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Oh, great. I'm legal counsel for the Davis County Board of Education, and I'm speaking tonight, or this evening, on behalf of the board. I think it's safe to say, and Mr. Pagan would probably agree, the board and the city really got off on the wrong foot on this issue. The city's announced its intent to annex 6 separate tracts of land in Davis County currently owned by the Board of Education. The board's not particularly happy with annexation. It's hard not to feel like someone's picking on you when we look at tonight's agenda. And there are 7 first readings of ordinances annexing property. 1 is consensual, but the 6 non-annexed or non-consensual annexations are all property owned by the Board of Education. Plus, we believe a lot of the arguments supporting annexation are fatally flawed. For example, it's been said that the city pays for roads to the schools while the schools themselves don't provide any funds for road maintenance. This argument's flawed simply because the Board of Education, with or without annexation, is tax exempt. So annexation raises no money for road maintenance from the Board of Education. Instead, the city is declaring its intent to annex approximately 180 acres of school board-owned property without a single taxpayer residing on it. So let's be very clear, the Board of Education objects to annexation. That said, the board is not adverse to the city of Owensboro. So what's the problem with annexation? Why won't the board simply negotiate favorable terms for consensual annexation? Let's face it, with or without annexation, these properties will remain exempt from ad valorem property taxes. With or without annexation, the Board of Education is exempt from all other taxes, such as the insurance premium tax. Instead, the burden of annexation would be borne entirely by the board's employees who happen to work or who would happen to work at the sites proposed to be annexed. These employees, educators, administrators, support staff, have no voice in that they have no direct legal standing to contest annexation. A lot's been said about the Board of Education refusing to negotiate for the terms of consensual annexation. The fact is, the city has suggested that various incentives may be available for consensual annexation. While the city could make attractive incentives available to the board cannot, in good faith, voluntarily accept any benefit or incentive for itself when the employees are incurring the burden. The board simply is not willing to receive any incentive on the backs of its employees. And again, I say it again, the board is not adverse to the city in any way. However, the board is duty-bound to stand up for those without a voice in this matter, its employees. For this very simple reason, the Board of Education is prepared to take whatever steps are necessary to protect the interest of its employees. Following tonight's first reading, the board shares Mr. Pagan's hope that this matter can continue and a resolution be reached. In conclusion, Mayor, Commissioners, annexation simply is not something the Board of Education can support at the expense of its employees. Therefore, we urge the City Commission to refrain from annexing these six board properties into the city as things currently stand. I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Robbins, I said you could have someone else speak on behalf of all these concerned teachers and other workers. You.
Mayor, you're at your own liberty, not at my request. So.
Well, I mean, I don't want to hear 75 people tell me they hate this, if you understand what I'm saying. If y'all can collect it, pardon me? Well, I've got a son that teaches in the system and a daughter-in-law that teaches at Davis County. So if one person wants to come up and get, we'll have three.
We got somebody up there now.
Okay.
Pardon me?
Somebody that's right
Okay, yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. I am Pam Howell. I live at 1008 Rogers Court. I am an employee of the Davis County Public School System, and I'm a teacher at Highland Elementary. Thank you for allowing me to come before you this evening. I want to begin by stating my support in the development of our city and its interest. I realize the challenges faced in our economy today and difficult decisions that need to be addressed. All public employees are impacted by these challenges, statewide and now local. It's interesting that today, as I left my precinct, I felt grateful for the opportunity to exercise my freedom to vote for and put my trust in those individuals who promise to represent their constituents, to make decisions for the common good and those who are governed. However, I am disillusioned by this idea of trust and promises. I am concerned and discouraged at the possibility of the proposed ordinance to annex 9 properties of the Davis County school system. As this proposal does not have a direct financial impact on the school district entity itself, it does, however, affect the core of the district. First and foremost, our students, our kids, your kids, and our family of workers. It's interesting to think that our buildings' properties are annexed, but it is the heartbeat of the district, our personnel, who will feel the impact of this decision. The buildings are not Davis County schools. Our people are Davis County schools. I realize that in making difficult decisions to increase revenue, numbers are the focus. I am asking you, though, to replace those numbers and figures with people. People who take care of and invest in our city's greatest commodity, our children. As stated earlier, I support our city and am proud of the vision and the direction we are heading. The riverfront development, downtown expansion, support of the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, and the River Park Center, to name a few, are great accomplishments. I realize the need to support our community as an individual citizen. Each of us is responsible for working together as one. I do not mind paying taxes to support our community. One thing I am greatly concerned about is the amount of the proposed increase. Let's go back to the idea of replacing the figures with people. I would like to share with you some of the impact this 408% increase will place on some of the individual positions within our district. A classified employee making $25,000 would go from paying $87.50 per year to paying $445 per year. And this $25,000 amount is generous. Let's go a little deeper and become more realistic. How about the bus driver who ensures safety for our children as they transport them to and from school? Or the instructional assistant who works one-on-one with students to help them succeed in science, social studies, math, reading, etc.? Or the cafeteria worker who meets the physical needs of our children so they then can concentrate on learning. The impact from this ordinance would range from presently $42 to $267 per year on a $12,000 to $15,000 salary. Furthermore, the impact on the educator, teacher, who is responsible for nurturing, guiding, growing, and teaching our community's children will range from presently paying $138.50 to $1,178.25. That is close to $100 less a month for me, and that is substantial. Not to mention the effect this will have on DCPS families where both parents are school employees. These amounts are excessive and will cause a hardship on employees and families of DCPS, thereby impacting the economy of our entire community. One other impact this ordinance will have is adding to the shortage of positions within the workplace. Today it is challenging to attract and keep qualified and dedicated employees. This passage will add to this dilemma facing our school districts today. Individual schools will lose qualified employees to other schools who are not in the annexation, thereby pitting schools against each other. I have one of the most rewarding jobs. There is nothing like seeing children succeed and watching them grow into responsible young adults. But as rewarding as education is, we are talking about compensation and our livelihoods. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We're going to move on. We're going to move on in the agenda, and you'll have an opportunity to speak in open public forum. Because, like I said, I would assume everybody feels the same way, and we do understand that. But if you'd like to stay and speak in open public forum when we get finished with our meeting, you're certainly welcome to do that. I'm not leaving until you all leave. So at this time, we'll move back to the agenda and have Municipal Order 8. Counselor.
Municipal Order 14-2019, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an application for a Bulletproof Vest Partnership Initiative grant administered by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, designed to provide critical resources to law enforcement jurisdictions for the purposes of reimbursing the Owensboro Police Department for 50% of the total cost of $11,339 expended to purchase 17 new bulletproof vests and plates, that amount being $5,669.50, introduced and publicly read for approval. It's 21st day of May, 2019.
Thank you, Council. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second,
Second.
please? City Manager, do you have anything to discuss with this?
No, Mayor, just to add that this grant has a 50-50 match from the city. We do have matching funds available.
Thank you. Any comments from the rest of the commission? Okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 8B, please.
Municipal Order 15-2019, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an application for a fiscal year 2019 state Homeland Security grant through the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security in the amount of $51,581, the proceeds of which will be utilized by the Owensboro Police Department to purchase parts and upgrades for the existing hazardous device units Remotech Andros F6A robot, for which no match is required. Introduced and publicly read for approval this 21st day of May, 2019.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager, do you have any comments?
Yes, Mayor. As the city attorney said, no match required for this grant. It provides a software update and new equipment for a bomb robot.
Okay. Anybody else? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 8C, Counselor.
Municipal Order 16-2019, a municipal order adopting an investment policy for the city of Owensboro, introduced and publicly read for approval this 21st day of May, 2019.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any comments, City Manager?
I do, Mayor. The state statute governing local government investment options changed this year, so we're making the corresponding changes to our policy to ensure that our language mirrors language in the new state law. The objectives of the investment policy do not change. First is safety of public funds, second, liquidity, and third, return on investment. In addition, the authorized investments do not change, so investment options such as bonds and certificates of deposit remain the same. And the policy, as in state law, requires our funds to be 100% collateralized, meaning the financial institution holding our funds must set aside the amount we have invested to protect them. And actually, our bank bid requires 102% collateralization, which exceeds the state requirement. Therefore, we recommend approval.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Let's see, City Manager items, item 9A.
Mayor, if you would acknowledge Angela Hamrick for the financial report.
I acknowledge Angela Hamrick.
Yes, Mayor and Commission. This is for the month ended March 31st, 2019. Our general fund revenues through March of $43,772,734 were $937,404 over budget. Our general fund expenditures of $38,719,379 were $2,583,955 under budget. This is primarily due to timing and maintenance, supplies, and other. Other is mostly due to timing in professional and technical services and street lighting and general government. And we also see savings in personnel services due to vacancies throughout the year. Outside of timing differences, or variances rather, the revenues and expenditures in other funds are in line with the year-to-date budget. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer.
I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion, more discussion from the dais? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 9B, consider personnel appointments. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just one tonight. Samantha Conley, probationary, full-time, non-civil service appointment to telecommunicator with the police department, effective June 10th, and this is an existing position.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 9C, City Manager comments.
No additional comments tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Item 10, communication from elected officials. Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright.
Mayor, I don't have anything this evening.
Mayor Pro Tem Maglinger.
Mayor, I do not have anything.
Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one point of clarification, if I could, please.
Sure.
As has been reported, especially when it comes to the annexations we've been talking about, there's a little bit of head fake you can have with numbers. And to clarify, today's occupational rate that is currently applicable is 0.35. It is scheduled by ordinance to even go up to 0.7 starting January 1 of 2020. If approved, it will then go to 1% regardless of what the city of Owensboro does. So whenever you speak of the 408% increase, in reality, it will be going up if the city does nothing. It will be happening from fiscal court standpoint. So the numbers can say whatever anyone wants them to say, but in reality, that is what is going to be occurring. So I just want to make that point of clarification. Other than that, thank you, Mayor.
Welcome, Commissioner Sanford.
No comments. Thank you.
Okay, my comments are some of the things we did this weekend. Got to hold a snake at Joe Ford Nature Center. This 10-year-old kid said, "Why don't you put it around your neck, Mayor?" And I said, "All right." So got to do that. We had ribbon cutting at the Joe Ford Nature Center. It's really a pretty cool deal. They have a what I call interactive museum where the kids get to play with those varmints and just have fun. It's a pretty neat thing. It's kind of a hidden gem. It's in behind Grad there off the Greenbelt. So if you get an opportunity, you need to take your little ones out there. We had a ribbon cutting at Chautauqua Park today. We got new playground equipment. Had about, I don't know, 75 kids out there, a bunch of kids jumping around on new playground equipment. I remember when I had playground equipment, it was rusted, and water fountain was a garden hose. So, you know, these kids are getting a pretty good deal right now. I think it's great for them. And then we had a 70-team baseball tournament of 10 and under out at Fisher Park this weekend, and probably Panther Creek and maybe at Pisa 10. Is that right, Amanda? It was very well run. The teams in the finals were from Newburgh and Clarksville, Tennessee. They were coached by 7 guys that had just retired from the military, and those kids were very well behaved, I might say. So that was some pretty good stuff this weekend. That's all I have. Item 11 is the open public forum. Please note what we're going to say about this. Members of the audience are invited to address the City Commission on any matter of public concern that was not on tonight's agenda. Comments are limited to issues within the scope and responsibility of this commission. Commission meetings are held to conduct city business for the benefit of city residents and taxpayers. At this time, anyone that wishes to address the City Commission, please make their way to the podium to be recognized. Speakers must state their name and address for the clerk's record and limit their remarks to 3 minutes or less. Since the item is not on the agenda, no response is required from city staff or the commission, and the mayor reserves the right to extend time if necessary. So please make your way, hey man, please make your way to the podium if you'd like to speak. What do you say, man?
Not much. How you doing? My name's Stephen Goodrid. I live at 809 James Gerard Drive. And Mayor and Commissioners, I've taught U.S. history for 26 years, and I love it. I admire Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, George Washington, and Patrick Henry. But I feel obligated to remind everyone here, it's a part of our history that citizens have a voice in who makes our laws and votes on our taxes. To deny this is taxation without representation. If we have no voice, new taxes can be added arbitrarily when any new revenue is needed. And as a U.S. history teacher, we got to think about that. Because if all these people are not represented and there's taxes that are coming to them, it just seems to go against many of the ideals that I teach about.
They're applauding you?
I wish. My name is Bailey Bennett. I live at 2576 Palomino Place. I am the Davis County Public Schools Construction Coordinator, and I actually worked for the City Engineering Department for 6 years. I saw countless annexations go through. Yet this is the first time I'm ever seeing a forced annexation, and I have to question why these properties. The confusing part to me is all of these properties are property tax exempt, government-owned, education-based facilities where only the employee will feel the brunt of this decision, where the teachers, bus drivers, maintenance workers, custodians, and countless staff who are already feeling the brunt of the blow from Frankfurt's proposed changes to our retirement and pensions will now receive a 408% increase in occupational tax. literally taking money from staff dealing with the same pension issues as the city to build up the city's pension reserves. You mentioned the 1% increase proposed by the county, but by KRS statute, that is a cap that the county can charge. The city has no cap. It can continue to increase beyond what it already is. Reading some of the reasonings discussed, Apollo High School was brought up as it's surrounded by city streets, and these city streets must be maintained in the infrastructure that these schools use. But the other 8 properties you're looking to annex are not. Maintenance, Bus Garage, Burns Elementary, Burns Middle, Davis County High School, Central Office, Highland, and the new middle school property touch state routes and state intersections. These Kentucky Transportation Cabinet maintains these roads, these traffic signals, the school zone flashers, the infrastructure, and not the city of Owensboro. If a pothole occurs, the Transportation Cabinet will be the entity responsible, not the city or the city tax dollars. You also mentioned pockets. There are plenty of pockets throughout the city of Owensboro with such facilities such as portions of Glenmore Distillery, portions of SFG and Fields Packing, and the OZ Tyler Distillery. None of these are being looked at, only the Davis County Public Schools. If forced annexations are the new norm for the city, where will it stop? Will the OCTC Tech Center behind Davis County High School be next, or another nonprofit education-based property? As mentioned before, this also creates inequity between our facilities. A teacher at West Louisville Elementary School will have a higher take-home pay than the same teacher at Highland Elementary. That is not okay. In conclusion, I ask you to look at these repercussions of this decision and the overreach of government that this is starting. I'll also ask each of you to remember what our district strives to achieve, and that is that we always put our kids first.
Good job.
Very good.
Yes,
We've
ma'am.
had very good speakers tonight. I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm Jackie White. I live at 2701 Lewis Lane. Coach Watson, I want
Yes.
to call you, Miss
Yes.
Pam. I know all of y'all to be good people, but when I read this today, I got the heebie-jeebies. It just seems like another attack on our teachers. I work at Apollo High School. I think the world of every teacher, every custodian, every lunch lady, that's what I am, and it just seems like here we go again. And it's going to hurt us. I mean, I pay for my own bills, I take care of myself, and it's like, wow. And she made a good point. Somebody on the other end of the county is going to take home more money than I will, just because of where I work. So I just want y'all, I know I wouldn't have your job for nothing, but I want y'all to know I really, really, really hope you think hard. And I know, Mr. Condor, you said it's going to happen anyway. I believe that's something y'all have control of. I don't really think it all just naturally falls into place. I want y'all to really think hard, and I do appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Julia Hobbs. I live at 4309 Plantation Point here in Owensboro. I do work for the school system, and I deal with numbers a lot. Commissioner Condor, you mentioned the county tax rate going up. Yes, it will, but it incrementally goes up. It goes up to 0.5% and then to 1%, and as mentioned, that is a cap. Another number is the amount of full-time employees in our district is almost 2,000 people. The people paying property taxes, which includes subs, is more like 2,300 people. Now, not all of them live in Davis County, but a lot of them do. A lot of them live in the city, and they're the ones who will vote for you or not. I just want everyone to be aware of that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Kim
Hello.
Welburn. I live at 5414 Joe Drive. I just want to say I am a school bus driver.
I'm Donna Kaysen at 11630 Poplar Street, and I'm a special service bus manager.
She's a walker.
I
See
see
her
him
every
in the
morning.
There are approximately 182 employees at the bus garage. We work very hard in what we do. We have a lot of responsibilities on our shoulders. We love our kids, and we would do anything in the world for them. We kind of think that 408% occupational tax, we just can't, if you understood what we make, that would put an extreme hardship on our employees. Most of us work 2 jobs. Some of us work 3. I am one that works 2 jobs to make ends meet. Daniela works 2 also. There's a lot of us that work 2 jobs. We just feel like the more we have to work, that takes away from our families. That also takes away from when we do our main job by driving the bus and being on the bus as a monitor. That also will take away from our job there, from being tired and frustrated. And we do not want that to happen with our children because, as I said before, we love them dearly. A lot of us don't even make poverty. We're below poverty in our salaries. I'm not sure if you know this, but at the bus garage, we don't work a 40-hour week. Yes. A lot of us, our routes consist of about 5 to 5.5, 6 hours. There are some bus drivers that do make work 8 hours a day, but a lot of us do not get the opportunity to work a 40-hour week. Therefore, we have to work a second job. And we feel like with this tax, we may have to work an additional job. We just want you guys to understand that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, I know her.
Several of you do. Trina Riney. I teach at Davis County High School, and I live at 8350 Riney Road. So no, I can't vote for any of you. But my family has run a business at 2405 Beach Road for almost 45 years. And they paid a lot of property tax. And their employees are continue to pay occupational tax. My mom and stepdad also own about 20 properties in the city. So they're pulling their weight. So maybe I can't vote for you, and maybe I don't matter. But as a teacher, this just seems like another attack. And I emailed all of you all, and I got no replies until after I talked to Jeff this morning, and he was very nice, and I appreciate our conversation. But no one, I stayed up till 10:30 last night because this bothered me so much. And I have to say, I have to again feel like this is an attack on teachers. And maybe it's not a big deal to you, but the last 2 years have been a continuous attack on us. And as I said in my email, I didn't think I had to worry about my local government not supporting education and teachers, but now it's turned to this. And Mr. Pagan can say it's not about money, but I think it's already been brought up. There are 2,000 employees. I think, Mr. Robbins and I had a conversation, I think we're the second largest employer in Davis County, Owensboro area. And so it's an easy fix. It is about money. It's about revenue. And it's a quick fix. And I understand completely. I've tried to be an informed citizen, an informed educator. I understand the pension crisis is very detrimental to all of us, but also to local governments. I spoke about a year ago when all this went down with Al Mattingly. I consider him a friend. We talk at the health park often. He, too, just like Jeff was this morning, he listened to me. We have a conversation. We may not always agree on everything, but I think he respects me and I respect him. And I said, what are the local governments going to do? It's going to pretty much bankrupt local governments for the pensions that you guys have to pay out to your employees. But guess what? You're asking us to subsidize that. How's that okay? It's not okay. I mean, we each pay 13% into our own pension fund that the governor wants to take away. And now we have to deal with this. I understand the revenue situation. I understand you needed money, but I also understand that we could have had rick houses from O.Z. Towler that are now at Ohio County. And I understand that that's about $400,000 that we could have put into our coffers for the city. I, too, like so many others, appreciate the vision and the fortitude and the tough decisions being made. And as I mentioned in my email this morning, my father-in-law, Mike Riney, had something to do with that as a county commissioner. And he believed in supporting the city and working with the city. I think we're all team players. But why should it be on the backs of us? Thank you.
Last
Hi.
one.
Last one, okay.
Pull your mic down so we can hear you, okay?
A little short.
That's all
My
right.
name is Cassie Chapman. I am a teacher for Davis County Public Schools. And I did not intend on speaking tonight, but the more I listen to people and we talk about the money that's going to come out of our pockets, eventually that's going to affect our children. There will be no more extra crayons. There will be no more extra pencils. Kids that come in dirty clothes, we won't be able to reclothe them. All of that we buy with our own money. No toothpaste, those extra backpacks that they get because their parents didn't have one, we pay for those. And if you take that from the teachers, those children will not have that. I want you to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Have y'all ever been to a meeting before? One of these? Oh, that's good. Oh, Frankfurt. Yeah, I can see that. But I do appreciate you coming. It's always good to hear both sides of the story, and usually it's somewhere in the middle that I've found over the years. So thank you very much for coming, and at this time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you all.